arms fall off, till your abs get hard and your moral of the story.
What's happening, guys? Nick Boleto here from BoletoBrigade, back with another weekly training summary. I shouldn't even say weekly training summary because this week, another lackluster week of footage. I only have one set of any sort of upper body movement this week, just my max effort pin press. But what you guys are going to be watching is both my lower body workouts. I actually filmed almost my entire lower body workouts this week, so enjoy the lower body footage, pause squats, followed by some pause deadlifts, some straight-legged deadlifts. I have some sumos in there, some normal low bar squats, and then obviously the pin press from my max effort upper. Overall, a pretty good training week though. I was very, very happy with it. This is usually the hardest week for me because it is on my dynamic effort days. It's a 6x3 at 80%, which wouldn't be too difficult. Triples with 80% is usually not that big of a stretch. However, I have accumulated quite a bit of volume by the third week of my dynamic wave because I was doing a 10x3 at 70% and an 8x3 at 75%. So by the time that I get to week 3, between all the max effort work, accessory work, and the dynamic effort work, I've usually accumulated about 25,000 pounds of squat volume over the course of 2 weeks. So the dynamic session did not quite feel too great, but the accessories were feeling really good. I actually did kind of a lot of barbell accessories this week, which, as I'm recording this, I'm now on week, I guess, I don't know, 9. I think this is week 8, maybe 7, I don't know, whatever. But how I'm feeling right now is I'm sort of feeling a little beat up, a little under recovered, and I think it was from all the barbell accessory work this week that you are watching right now. So next week's footage will not have a lot of barbell accessory work. Hopefully it has better footage than this week, or at least more consistent footage. So anyways, something that I wanted to talk to you guys about. I just came back from class. I'm taking a class called Physiological Basis of Strength and Conditioning. So it's basically a class where we would learn how to put somebody through a training program. So it's a class that I'm very excited about. I really have been enjoying the class so far. But something we were just talking about, we were sort of talking about specificity of training, specifically in resistance training. And one of the things that my instructor was saying, we were talking about how deep you should squat. And I said that I thought that how deep you should squat should be limited by your mobility. Because in powerlifting, that's typically what is going to limit you. You sort of squat as deep as you can to your mobility, unless you're competing in a federation where you don't have to squat deep. But typically your mobility is what limits how deep you squat. And he actually said that you should squat as deep as the knee angles tend to be in your sport. So say for an alpine skier who spends a lot of time with his ass on his ankles, those guys in training are going to squat ass to ankles. Whereas, say, like a basketball player who, is going to be doing a lot of jumping, but rarely do they even jump from a position where their legs are sort of parallel to the ground. It's usually even higher than that. And so the thought behind that is if you are squatting higher, then you could probably overload more weight than you could if you were squatting deeper, which in theory would make those muscles stronger. So I thought this to be pretty interesting because I had always thought before, you should squat as deep as possible, but that could possibly be my ego from powerlifting kicking in. So I wanted to hear what you guys think. Do you guys think that you should squat as deep as possible, or do you think you should squat to where your sport demands it? And is specificity more important than exercise execution? Quote unquote correct exercise as execution, which the sort of accepted squat depth is sort of too parallel at least. But you know, for a sport like football or basketball, where you're not going to be ever really in a position where your legs are parallel to the floor, do you think it could be advantageous to squat higher, possibly have a little bit more overload, and then develop more strength in that position? So I'd love to hear what you guys think. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Promise next week's video will be better footage, hopefully. And in the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.